So welcome back to Take 15 and to day 6. So having spent a good few days now cultivating the most helpful way to approach the exercise, today we're going to look at the importance of the breath in meditation. The breath and the mind are intimately linked, and so the more you can become familiar with the breath, the more you'll begin to know your own mind. It's also a really useful way of deepening your concentration. And of course, a great thing about using the breath to focus on is that it's with you wherever you go. So you can start to become aware of it not only during your meditation, but also in everyday life. Now, as always, I'm going to talk you through the exercise, making just a few small changes each day. I think the most important thing to remember at this time is that it's not about breathing in any particular way. It's more about how you focus on the breath, and there's a very big difference between the two. So just allow the body to breathe at its own pace, in its own way, without trying to interfere or change it too much. We're simply becoming more aware of that natural rhythm and then focusing on it in a very particular way. But for now, I'd like you to begin by just sitting upright, settling yourself into a comfortable position. Eyes open, looking forward, with just a very soft gaze. Aware of the space around you in the room, in front of you, to the sides, above and below. And just maintaining that soft focus, just taking a couple of nice big deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then the next time you breathe out, just gently closing the eyes and just feeling yourself sink down into the chair beneath you. Just noticing the weight of the body as it presses down against the chair. Contact to the soles of the feet against the floor. And the weight of the hands and the arms just resting in the lap or on your legs. As always, take a few moments just to become more familiar with the environment in which you're sitting. So in particular, any sounds. Remembering it's not about thinking about the sounds, it's about noticing and acknowledging the sounds as they come and go. And then just gently bringing the attention back to the body as we just begin this process of checking in with the body. Noticing the different physical sensations, those of comfort, those of discomfort. As we start at the head and just mentally scan down, all the way down to the toes. Just taking 20, 30 seconds to move from one part of the body to the next. Still allowing thoughts and feelings to come and go. But every time you realize you've been distracted, just gently bringing the attention back again to those physical sensations. And at the same time, just starting to notice any obvious mood, any strong emotional quality that might be around. It doesn't matter whether you see it as positive or negative. At this stage is simply about building up a picture, so it's just acknowledging it and noticing what's present. And then reminding yourself of your motivation, why it is you're doing what you're doing. Remember, just a sentence or two. Be clear in your mind about what it is you're hoping to learn or understand about the mind by sitting to meditate today. Reminding yourself of how the meditation can potentially benefit those around you as well. How it tends to make communication flow more easily as we become clearer, calmer, and happier in the way that we are, the way that we feel. And as always, reminding yourself that idea of effortlessness, that it's not about trying, it's not about trying to achieve or create a state of mind. It's about stepping back and allowing the body and the mind to unwind in their own time and their own way. So with that in mind, shifting the attention now onto the breath. And today I'd like you to take just a moment longer to be clear about where in the body you feel that sort of rising and falling sensation. If you're somebody who struggles with being clear about that feeling, then you can just gently place your hand over the belly button, just so you can be more aware of the breath. And as you become more aware of the rhythm of breathing, just notice how each individual breath is different from the last. Notice not just the rhythm of the breath, whether it's long or short, whether it's deep or shallow, but also notice the quality of the breath. Are the breaths long and fluid, constant? Or do they tend to sort of stop and start along the way? Without trying to change anything, without trying to breathe in any special way. Just noticing these very subtle aspects of the breath. And then just slowly beginning to count the breaths as they pass, still applying that same sense of curiosity to each breath. The only thing that changes is that you're now counting the breath at the same time as being aware of it. Remember, when you get to 10 each time, you can stop and start again at 1. So just following each and every rising, falling sensation. And remember, being curious about the breath is very different from thinking about the breath or analyzing the breath. It doesn't require any judgment. It's just a very gentle noticing, watching, seeing how each breath is different from the last. Breath now. Notice if there's any sense of effort going in to the meditation. And in the moment you realize that there's any effort going in, notice in turn how that affects the breath. Equally, notice if the breathing becomes very heavy, very deep, whether that brings about a feeling of lightness or a sense of heaviness, a move towards sleep. If it does, then in the moment you realize that that's where it's heading, notice what happens to the breath in that moment of realization. For now, I'd like you to let go of any focus at all. You don't need to focus on the breath in any way now. Just allowing the mind to be completely free. And no effort at all. And then just bringing the mind back to the breath. And noticing how perhaps the breath has changed. Simply by shifting your focus in that way, by giving the mind a greater sense of freedom and space. So now I'd like to bring your attention back to the physical sensations in the body. for the body on the chair beneath you, feet on the floor, and the hands and the arms just resting on the legs. Notice any sounds, any strong smells, even any tastes that you might still have in your mouth from before the meditation. And in your own time, you can just gently open your eyes. And when you're ready, just sit back in the chair and appreciate how it feels to take a short time out of your day. And as you're sitting there, maybe just take a moment to reflect on your meditation today and whether you were really able to differentiate between thinking about the breath and simply being aware of the breath, present with that physical sensation of rising and falling. This is a really important distinction, and we'll work on it some more in the days to come. But as you go through your day today, maybe just check in with the breath once in a while, just to notice how very often the breath can reflect the way that you're feeling.